devastating shortages could be affecting America very, very soon. I've got a troubling email that just got sent to me that will probably scare you when it comes to your goods. You thinking prices are high now? Wait till you hear what just happened and it's going to happen in the coming weeks. Not only that, California wants to give away your tax dollars to everybody. They want to give it to everybody that's non-citizen. And they want to get a house for free, give food for free, give everything for free. Now, you as Americans, have you ever gotten anything like that free? No, because it probably doesn't exist. We have to work for our goods. But California wants to give it all away at your cost. Now today we're going to be talking about those and a few more stories. The point of the day is to realize you better get on solid ground and better financial sound ground, and you better make sure you have a good stocked up pantry, because with these kind of stories, not only is your dollar volatile, the goods that you're purchasing are volatile. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. It is a gorgeous day here in South Mississippi. I'm enjoying the cool weather. We're starting to see that. Now, don't get me wrong, it will be like 90 today, but it's just been nice to know that fall season is coming. Now, as we get close to fall, what that means is we're getting closer and closer to an election. Election with consequences. Either we're going to go back to hopefully good times, such as 2016 to 2019, or we're going to keep the status quo going. Now, we're going to talk about the status quo first, and then we're going to talk about these two crazy stories that I mentioned in the intro. Now, first, let's talk about what has transpired just this last week when it comes to news of this administration that we're dealing with right now. It says, current situation, the U.S. jobs has revised the fact that we lost 818,000 jobs. It was all fake job numbers. Now, I mentioned this yesterday. 1 million jobs, almost 1 million jobs. They've come back and revised. It's 818,000, not 1 million. So they falsified it by 818,000 jobs that have been lost. You think that's going to make for a good economy? U.S. employment rate is to 4.3%. That is the highest since 2021. So you believe Kamala is going to bring back your jobs? She hadn't done it in 3.5 years. Why do you think she's going to do it now? 5 of the last 6 jobs report have now been revised lower. So what it is they come and they hit you with jobs numbers that are just amazing. The economy is getting better. And 2 weeks later, 5 out of the 6, meaning 5 reports were falsified to reference, oh, well, we had numbers wrong. Actually, they were not that good. But no one talked about it. 2 more that affects you more than any. The U.S. dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power in the last 4 years. That means inflation's up. That means the fact that the policies of the economics that we're dealing with right now through the Biden-Harris administration that will continue under this next tutelage of Harris-Walz if they win. The fact that your dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power. If we keep at this projection with these bad numbers, what if it loses 50%? So that means all the hard money you're working towards, all the retirement that you've tried to build up, the pensions, the fact of hopefully having real estate worth something one day. What we're realizing is your dollar is falling and falling and falling. Now, cash is king. I preach that every day. But when our government is basically destroying our own currency, then we're realizing cash may not be king. No currency may be king. And what did I say a few videos ago? They'll need a reset because our debt is untouchable. The kind of reset I'm hoping for is a gold standard. Let's go back to backing our currency on something that's valuable. Will it change the currency? Will it probably make the market go nuts? Yes, but it will put us back on solid ground. This monetary theory that the Democrats are pushing, what they're trying to do is just say your money is based on how valuable we are. That means how valuable our war is, how valuable our debt is, how valuable it is to have turmoil across the world to cause and manipulate our old currency. That's what actually is happening. And we're losing the battle because of this economy and because of this administration being so weak. So when you work hard for those dollars, the fact is 1/4 of it, just throw it away. Take your paycheck and throw 1/4 of it away. The government's already taken 1/4 to 1/3 to even maybe 1/2. Now take another 25% of it, and you might as well just light it on fire, because that's exactly what this government's doing. And to me, more than ever, this will prove that, along with our dollar struggling, that we're probably looking at a recession or depression. 11% of credit card balances in the U.S. are now delinquent, the highest it's been in over a decade. So not only are we borrowing more money on our credit cards, now we're seeing that people can't even pay them. We're higher in our delinquent mortgages, rent, car loans, and now credit cards. Talk about a soft landing. I thought that was a great explanation of where we're at. Falsified numbers to show that this economy's doing great, which it's not. The fact that our dollar's lost purchasing power. The fact that our debt is climbing and we're in a delinquency as a nation. But not only that, people cannot afford their own debt when it comes to their homes, their cars, and now their credit cards. That means the debt that they're buying with going to Walmart, they're not even able to afford their groceries. Now let's talk about how it's going to get worse. Now I hate to tell you this, but to be honest with you, this should wake you up. I got an email, and this is something I got wind of last week, but I got an email from someone who watches us. And she says, you need to pay attention to this story. You talk about shortages. You talk about how bad 2020 was when it comes to our ports. Listen to this. This is from Reuters. Possible U.S. seaport strike could back up goods for months, shipping expert says. This is from Los Angeles. It says a possible strike in the U.S. seaports, the eastern coast and the Gulf of Mexico could back up cargo for weeks, not only weeks, maybe even months. Walmart and other importers have rushed to get goods in by the 30th of September because there's an expiration of a dock workers strike that could be coming because of a contract dispute for 45,000 people that work the docks from Texas all the way to Maine. So this is Walmart and some of these bigger retailers that are buying goods from global sources, China, India, and cheaper goods. They're trying to get as much as they can in. They're trying to overstock some of this because they realize if they don't get it now, their goods are going to skyrocket and they're not going to be able to get the things they're needing. Why? All because of money and disputes dealing with contracts. Now, should people be paid? Yes. This is where I struggle with unions, because where are unions giving their money? This is not what we're talking about today, but there's a union strike that's going on right now in my local town. And you know what 90% of their money goes to when it comes to political contributions? Democrats. So it's funny that unions push for helping the local folk and making sure that they're getting good wages for you. However, a lot of their dues are going to the people who are trying to destroy their politics and trying to destroy their jobs. Do you believe that American jobs are important? Well, the Democrats don't, so therefore it's funny that union jobs are trying to support them. You know why? Because union jobs are not important. Union bosses are important. So I digress. That's not what the video is on today. It's on the fact of the strike. So when I tell you to buy goods and make sure you have the things that you need, you're growing food that you have, and you're trying to put it up, not only that, have you stocked your pantry up? If your groceries are already costing 25 to 30 to 35 to 40% more, how much is that t-shirt going to cost? How much is those new boxers going to cost? How much is new socks going to cost? I know that sounds so crazy, but remember, have you looked at the tags of everything that you're purchasing? Food and goods alike. Hardly none of them are made in America anymore. They go to these ports. So if there's a dispute coming with 45,000 workers and you don't believe that they're already telling you that it could be down for weeks, maybe even months. Remember the UPS strike not too long ago where it made the cost of goods go up. Now people say, oh, no, it didn't. It gave them a lot more money. Yeah, it paid basically UPS workers 70 to 100 grand. What it did was make Amazon shipping and other goods shipped to you cost more. Now they still said it was quote unquote free shipping, but it made the goods go up. You don't believe Walmart and Amazon and all these companies that you're purchasing that's basically getting goods from overseas, you don't believe you're going to feel that? You believe they're just going to take in the fact of the overcost of getting goods or the fact of the strike workers? No, it's going to cost you more. So inflation's one thing, interest is one thing. What about a union strike and how difficult that's going to be to make your goods go up by another 25 to 50%? The agreement or the strike is going to cost you, the consumer, more. So please, before October, you better start buying these goods and getting them stockpiled and make sure you have everything you need, because if you're buying goods from overseas, your goods are going to be in shortage or they're going to cost you a whole lot more. One thing I've realized is U.S. doesn't really face the shortages like most parts of the world. But what they do face is higher pricing. Well, you're already delinquent on your credit cards. You're already struggling with your dollar. That's what the economy is showing in America. It's not going to get any better when the fact of this strike that goes down. If the things that you bought for $1 now cost $1.50, because that's basically what it's costing from 2020 to now. Now all of a sudden it's going to cost $1.75. Now the fact that your dollar has lost 25% of its purchasing power, so now it's $2. So that $1 thing back in 2019 now costs you $2. That's a loss of half of your money. So now let's put it to your paycheck. If you make $2,000 and it cost you $1,500 to live and you came away with $500, now you're using credit cards more and it's costing double. So that $1,500 is costing $3,000. You still make $2,000. It's costing you $3,000. That's $1,500 in the hole. So that means that savings that you had over the last few years is going bye-bye. That also means the fact that you're having to use credit cards. Well, the credit cards you can't afford because your bills have went up. Do you see how that works? When $1 costs you $2 now, that means your paycheck that you hopefully cut and make ends meet, or you're living paycheck to paycheck, now you're underwater and you're drowning in the cost of it. Please, if you're not on a written budget and you are not trying to do some side hustles, look, I own my own business in my own town. It's a family business. I also do YouTube on the side. I also farm on the side. I have literally 3 jobs. Misty does side hustles all the time, even though she's a homeschool mom. Because we realize the cost of goods are going up. We realize that we have to, even though we're growing all our food, we want to buy the goods that we're needing and make sure that we're not putting ourselves in binds. Please start stockpiling. Please do some side hustles. Now, as Americans, should we have to do that? Probably not. But that is the economy that our legislators and our leaders have put us in. Our servant leaders that should be serving us are causing us to go through problems. Should this email scare you with this shortage? Yes, this strike, because it's going to cost you more. Now let's talk one more story real quick. California. California just passed something that Gavin Newsom wants to instill. Now, California, I believe you should get out of California. I don't know why you're even in California, but listen to this. A California State Senate committee has approved the bill to allow illegal migrants to now buy homes for zero down payment, zero interest, and the bill, they said, will pass. So you have to have a down payment, you have to pay interest, but illegals don't have to. They're going to get a free mortgage, basically, free down payments, and remember, you're already paying for them to be here illegally. It cost $1.3 trillion just over the last 3 years. Is that fair to you? But here's how they're going to spin it. You know what? That price gouging bill that Harris is trying to push, that's communism. But what that's going to do is try to keep your prices low. Wait, no, it's not. It's a way of price gouging. That means they're trying to destroy the private sector. Oh, what about that credit? She's wanting to give you credits for you buying a home. So you'll get $25,000 towards a down payment. When they give programs like that, what they're trying to do is bypass the fact that they're giving away free houses to migrants. And then all of a sudden, you're getting $25,000 credit to buy a home. First-time home buyers. You know what all that is? That's the fact that they're giving you money away. They're giving you money from other people to you. That's robbing Peter to pay Paul, and that's also destroying our dollar because they're inflating a dollar, because what they're doing is overtaxing one group of individuals to turn around to give to someone else, printing more to still put in the economy while we're delinquent in our own bills. You know, we're running a deficit this year in America. You think they would stop the money printing? They haven't. Do you think they would try to get on sound economic policy? They're not. California wants to give free houses. Now, I don't know about you. Have you checked what a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house costs in San Francisco or any of the big cities in California? You have to almost be a millionaire to buy a studio apartment now in these places. But they're willing to take your tax dollars and give it to people who are not even citizens. That should make you mad. So you want to talk about sound financial policy? This administration is not sound financial policy, especially when the fact that now we're seeing a strike that could hit our seaboard to where our ports cannot even take in goods. that's going to make for those prices to go up. Either they're going to negotiate higher prices, or you're not going to get the goods. Talk about destroying our dollar and our financial institution. Even Walmart is warning of this. When you have big industry that's making billions of dollars saying, look, I'm sorry, you're going to be paying more. Remember, Walmart is not going to lose money. You are. Amazon's not going to lose money. You are. The port union, the union bosses, they're not going to lose money. You are. Be careful of who you vote for and quit saying, I'm voting against Trump. And you better start voting for somebody who's going to give you American policy, American, and things that in the economy that benefits Americans and not everybody else in the world. Because that's exactly what is happening with this administration. Guys, let me know your thoughts. When Walmart, Home Depot, Amazon, when these people warn you, yeah, they're looking out for themselves. No doubt. They want to make the money they make. But do you honestly believe they're going to pass down those costs to their CEOs and their people? Mm-mm. They're warning you because you're going to be the one affected. And you're already delinquent on your other debts. How in the world are you going to afford it? Remember that first analogy? If you have $1 in 2019, it now costs you $1.50 because of inflation and interest. Now it's going to cost you $1.75 because of the 25% cost it's going to cost you to incur with this port situation. Not only that, the fact that we've lost 25% of our purchasing power because the dollar's falling because of the deficit of our own American government. So that dollar now costs you $2. That means you have to work double as hard trying to do side hustles just to make ends meet. And people are cheering on the DNC. And they'll get a lot of votes. For what? It's foolishness to think this administration is going to lead us into prosperity and good jobs and cheaper groceries. It's not going to happen. Pay attention to what is going on. And you better balance your budget. You better stockpile your pantries. And you better prepare now. Let me know your thoughts. It's not trying to scare you. It's trying to prepare you. There's always hope. And the hope is getting knowledge and wisdom. Hope spiritually, of course, is in Christ. But then there's hope for America when we say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of living my life with my proverbial head in the sand. It's time to be better. It's time to balance my own budget. It's time to work hard to get the message out, do my research, be wiser, and have a better common sense approach, and try to take the foolish people and help them understand wisdom. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless.